Welcome to the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent.
Steve, welcome back to the Friday at 4 podcast series, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well, And yourself?
It is a very busy week. I got a lot going on as I shared with you earlier. I don't know if you've seen the video yet. I got it put up on YouTube. I'm anxious to get started. I really am. I'm excited.
Good. I'm excited for you. It's
It's gonna be tough challenge, but hey, man, I'm there. So
all right, good stuff. You'll get there.
yeah,
You'll get there.
yeah. So let's go get this thing started, and we're limited time. We're always limited here to 35 minutes or so. So let's go ahead and crank this thing going, and let's introduce Malcolm real quick. Malcolm, thanks for joining us on a Friday at 4. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely appreciate you joining. Steve, let's go ahead and kick this thing off, man. Topic today, integrity.
All right. Yeah, we were thinking about the topic of integrity. So a couple of thoughts. One is based on the way the economy is, more and more people generally are very stressed for a whole bunch of reasons. And again, I'm not getting into good, bad, indifferent, valid, not the issue. But people are stressed for a whole bunch of reasons. And like myself, many people need a way to vent those frustrations, those angers, those whatever you want to call them. But when they do that, are they really careful in what they say, who they talk to, who's around, who, can it come back to them and all that stuff? So that's kind of what we want to talk a little bit about today is, and my definition of integrity before we get started is how are you talking about somebody when they're not in the room to defend themselves?
Yeah.
That's what I'm just calling integrity. So if I was talking about Chuck to Malcolm and Chuck's not around and I say, hey, Chuck, about Chuck, he's this, and this, Chuck's not there to defend himself. So Malcolm only knows what I tell him. But if I'm having a bad day and I put Chuck down, right or wrong, Malcolm then says, you know what? I believe it, but it may not be true. So now Malcolm has a misinformation. Chuck now gets a bad reputation that is likely not deserved. Or because I know Chuck, I'm telling you it's not deserved, okay? But Chuck would have that bad reputation. Malcolm doesn't know any different, and then it spirals downward.
Yeah.
So that's really what it is. So from my experience, and then Malcolm, I want to throw this to you. From my experience, and I've been in corporate America for 32 years. I've had my own businesses for a couple of years. I have heard from many people, hey, did you hear about Joe or Sally? And early on in my career, I'd say, no, tell me what it is. And I would believe what I was told. Then a bunch of years ago, I realized not the best way for me. So now when somebody says to me, hey, Steve, did you hear about Joe or Sally? My answer would be, I don't know them well enough. Let me draw my own conclusions when I speak to them.
Yeah, I call it the water cooler gossip.
Yeah.
We're all hanging around a water cooler.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it goes on all the time. So, Malcolm, what do you
Yeah.
think about people talking about other people when they're not around and all that stuff? What do you think?
Well, I think it's gossip. And um
Well,
you can
before you answer that, go ahead and tell our audience a bit more about who you are and what you do so we can get an idea of,
Great
who you are
idea.
on the show. And then go ahead and tell us about your opinion on the integrity.
Okay. Well, I am the stand-up CEO. I'm the founder of the World Laughter Organization,
Hmm.
and I help I help both businesses and entrepreneurs solve their problems, solve their business problems using and leveraging the power of improv and laughter.
Wow, I love that. Okay.
Talk about
Mhm.
integrity. Integrity with laughter, man. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's hear it, Malcolm.
Uh-huh. So, so to get back on my train of thought, because need to catch up, the caboose I'm on. All right. So to get back on there, it's gossip. It's gossip.
Okay.
And as far as integrity, um, you as an individual need to make a choice
Mhm.
as what that value means to you and how you're going to use it. And um, and then how you're going to respond to gossiping. So first of all, as the gossipee, right? As the gossipee, um, if you are a person of integrity, if you're a person of with that value, then you understand that. Hopefully, you understand that that person's not around. So there is, so you understand exactly what you're saying. That person's not there to defend themselves. Uh, Person C may not know this person. You may be coloring the water. So you can use the words in my opinion.
Mhm.
Um, this is what I've seen about this person, right? To keep it personal to you, and that way you can still have that gossip, that water cooler gossip,
Mhm.
if you say, but it's coming from a different standpoint. It's coming from, this is my opinion.
Right.
This is what I've seen. You don't have to believe this. I'm not suggesting that you do, but this is what I've experienced. And then actually, I'm sorry, that was the gossiper. The gossip E, um, then you have to, again, you have to make a choice as to who you're going to believe. And are you going to believe and are you going to follow what people say? Um, Anybody, what what
Yeah.
the big old they with the capital T. Are you
Yeah.
going to believe what they say, or are you going to believe what you experience?
Hmm.
Yeah, one of the things that I had to learn being in corporate, being in a corporate environment, for Steve, you were there with me, for over 16 years. I think one of the cool things about it was I had to learn to listen to, hundreds of different people gossip and yap and talk about each other around the call centers and really inform your own opinion based on when you interact with these said people. Because I found that when you hear somebody talk about somebody, but you experience that person, you get two different things, right? And it's interesting because, that person who's gossiping said, "Oh man, have you heard about so and so? What a blah, blah, blah." And I talk to the person and get to know them like, man, they're nothing like that. So it's kind of weird how all these opinions get formed about everybody that go around these environments, which makes the environment very toxic, you
Agreed.
know?
Mhm.
Agreed.
And I think getting back to our topic, right? Integrity. If you hold that integrity to say, I'm not going to get involved in that
Mhm.
gossiping, try to stay out of it, try to really inform my own opinion of each individual as I interact with, can make for a better environment for us because now we're not so stressed out worrying about, what Steve said or what Malcolm said about Steve and what Steve said about Malcolm. I'm like, oh, well, wait a minute. I know both these guys and they're both nothing like that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I'm going to take it to what I'm going to call the next level, because what I have seen happen, and it never ends well,
That's correct.
is,
It never ends
for
well.
example, I tell Malcolm something about Chuck. Then I tell Joe something else about Chuck. Then I tell Sally something else about Chuck. So there's multiple versions coming around. At some point, Malcolm, Sally, Joe, they're going to talk to each other. And
Right.
somehow the conversation's going to come up about Chuck. And they're going to say, wait a minute, Steve said this. No, Steve said this. No, Steve said this. So now the three people start to talk. They don't know what to believe, but
Right.
they do now know that Steve is telling stories. So now Steve gets in all kinds of hot water. Number one, for spreading stuff, and number two, for spreading multiple versions of the stuff. And then Chuck comes along and finds out, and Chuck chases Steve down the hallway with a baseball bat. Okay.
And I know you know this, right, Steve? This has a name for it. What is it called when you tell somebody something and then they tell the next person and that person tells the next person and like
Telephone.
10 to 15
It's
people
called
down?
telephone.
Yeah, 10 or
Telephone.
15 people down. Like the conversation, the actual thing that Chuck said is like not even close to what he said.
Telephone.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a game that kids play, but you know what? Adults play it too.
It's a real
And
thing. Yeah, it's a real thing.
in a lot of cases, kids could just add and they forget it. But adults tend to remember things, and it impacts their performance in the workplace, maybe in a family setting. That's why I said when you start getting into this type of stuff, it never ends well. It
Yeah,
can't,
so true.
you
Yeah,
know?
so true.
And
Yeah.
I'm more and more in my experiences, it's best to say things like, don't know Malcolm, can't give you an opinion. And stop it right there.
Right.
Don't be an
Yeah.
additional person to spread.
Yeah.
Malcolm?
I agree. I agree. It's again, it's coming back to your personal integrity, where you stand, your personal values. Do you want to be seen as someone who goes with the crowd and yaps and yaps and yaps? Or do you want to be seen as someone who stands for honesty, someone who stands for themselves?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Years and
standing in
years.
line, right?
Yeah.
And you see the guy in front of you drop the $20 bill. Do you step on it and hide it and pick it up and keep it? Or do you pick it up and say, hey, you dropped this, right? There's two ways that I can go.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Always,
That's true.
always take the high road.
It
Um,
it oh, sorry,
no, no,
go
no, go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. No, no, please go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it all comes back to mindset too. And
Mhm.
what is your mindset? Are you of, so for instance, using that example that Chuck just gave, um, it comes down to a mindset of the poverty mindset. You
Mm,
may have heard that term used, the poverty mindset.
mhm.
Are you someone that thinks I've got to grab whatever I can and hold on to it for dear life,
Right.
because if I don't, then someone else is going to do better than me, and and that's what life's all about, is getting the best, you know.
Right.
Or are you one that thinks of the abundance life set? You know,
Hmm.
there's plenty for everybody.
Sure there is.
Money is just energy,
Hmm.
really. So here, you drop this $100 bill, you know,
Hmm.
I wanted to give it back to you.
Right.
And that in itself is So talk about integrity and personal integrity. That's showing your personal honesty and integrity, but that's also opening up, that's opening. So the abundance mindset is more opening than the poverty mindset, which is closed-minded. Gotta get me some.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. An old friend of mine, Juan, he had always said his thing is doing the right thing and doing the right thing right. You know, that goes a
Yes.
long way. You think about
Yes.
that. Do the right thing, but do the right thing right. You get caught up in, yeah, I might do the right thing, but was it the right thing to do? And people don't think about that. Like sometimes they think about, well, the guy dropped $100 bill. I stepped on it. That's the right thing to do. Nobody else is going to get it. But then do the right thing. Did you pick it up and give it back to him? Did you pick it up and say, I'm $100 richer? Yeah. Right.
It's
Steak tonight.
yeah, but as Malcolm said, it's the mindset.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you willing to do part of integrity? Are you
Yeah.
doing the right thing, or are you taking advantage of a situation which could hurt somebody else?
Huh?
There's somebody I've known for years, and I'm going to give him a shameless plug. His name is Marvin Soskell. He wrote a book years ago on integrity, and I have a copy of it on my shelf. Um, Great book, and it talks all about the stuff we're talking about today. So yeah, so plug for him. So if you happen to be watching, I'm sure it's on Amazon. Order the book. It's something with integrity. His name is Marvin Soskell. Um, but yeah, integrity is it's who you are as a person. It's your character. And I'm a true believer that if you do the right thing for somebody and you do the right thing for enough somebodies, it will come back to you.
Right.
I believe it. You got to do the right thing. So I'm sure you've heard of the golden rule: do unto others as they would have them do unto you.
Yeah.
I add something to that. At the end of that, I put in, but do it first. Be nice first. It's all about you as a person. And if you do the right thing enough times, it will come back to you. It will.
Yeah.
That's my
I
thinking.
agree. I'm a big believer in I always do the right thing, even though it makes me angry sometimes because I know I'm going to get somehow screwed over doing something. But as you go through life, you realize you look back and say, man, I just got rewarded 10 times of the issue that just happened the other
Mhm.
day or the other week or the other month, right? I've seen it on a daily basis to where people will say and do things, and then before you know it, it's things have happened good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's no real, at least I don't know of any real way to tie back something good that we do to something good that somebody else does for us. I don't know if there's ever a way to match one against the other, but that's why he keeps saying, do the right thing. And over time, people will do the right thing for you. But you have
Yeah.
to put that foot out or put the best foot forward
That's foot
all the
forward.
time. Because you
Yeah,
never know who's
I agree.
watching, who's talking. You never know.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I think it also comes down to energy, uh,
Hmm.
and the energy that you put out. Um, so if you do the right thing, you're doing it for others,
Hmm.
or so you're not doing it for yourself necessarily. You're doing it for others. So that puts that generosity, that integrity, that honesty, that puts that energy out there. Um, for instance, if I hold the door open for someone, who's getting on the bus, a senior who's getting on the bus, and I say, here, take my seat instead, that's the right thing. I'm not doing it for myself. I'm not doing it to look good. I'm doing it for the other people. And I'm putting that energy out there. And so when I put that energy out there, that energy affects other people. I don't need to see it. It's not about my seeing it, but that energy affects other people, and then they start, doing the right thing.
Right. And not go off tangent too much here, but I know, you talk about the energy, right? I do
Mhm.
believe 1000% that our energy matches certain people. For example, I could be around somebody and know, oh, my energy does not match it with this person. And then some people, your energy matches and you flow, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Energy is a big deal. People don't realize it, but and I'm not into that whole physical stuff, but there is a lot of people I know that are into that. And they said there is energy out there and it does transfer and it does build up and it does its thing. So yeah, I believe it does. Again, do the
Yeah,
right thing for the right reasons.
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Hmm.
Malcolm, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think you probably had more to say, but go ahead and finish what you were going to say. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I forgot what I was talking
I,
about.
I have a habit of doing it, man. Sometimes I just want to
No, no
jump in.
worries. I so I have a neurological disability, based on art based, but from a childhood virus. And so I talk slower and I think slower. And so I've had a lifetime of people interrupting me and interrupting my thoughts and all that. And I've learned to really let things go. So,
Deal with it, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, you're not the first person I do this to. Steve will tell you, we're all the time, we joke around. This podcast is not about all serious. We like to have fun. When we pick a topic, we just talk
Sure.
about it and we
Hmm.
want to bring people on and
Hmm.
share their thoughts and just have a good time with it. This isn't all about being serious.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
You know what? Everybody's different. Everybody's different. There is no right way. There is no perfect way. It's everybody's built different. Some people are tall, some people are short, some people are heavy, some people are light, some people wear glasses, some people don't. Some people have hair, Chuck, some people don't. You and I. Everybody's different. There
I'm the
is
odd
no
man out
perfect.
right now. I got hair.
I thought I liked you, Chuck. Anyway, I'm sorry. Okay, but 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 don't apologize for the way you are. That's who you are.
Yeah.
And unless you said something, it doesn't make a difference to me. It doesn't make a difference to Chuck. That's who you are. Take your time, gather your thoughts, and make your statement.
Hmm.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
somebody doesn't like you or what you do or how you do, think, talk, whatever, next, find the next person who
Yeah.
will accept
That's
you
a
for who
great
you are.
statement, Steve.
Don't
And
don't
that's a
don't apologize.
Yeah, that's a great statement, Steve. I think a lot of people, and I did this for a long time. I want everybody to like me. And I always want to try to fit in with everybody. I got out of this. I was a big introvert, all my life. Then I finally got out of that, as I worked in the corporate field because I had to. And I always want everybody to like me. I want everybody to know that I'm a good person. But what I had to realize was not everybody's a good person for you.
Correct.
And that got me in a lot of trouble for a couple of years because I
Mhm.
trusted people.
Right.
I wanted those people to believe me and hang with me and be good with me, but those people were not good. Again, back to integrity, right?
Correct.
These people had no integrity whatsoever. They were demonic. They were the devil. They were people who just, they did not care about anybody but themselves. They want to see people go
Mhm.
down
Yep.
and
Yep.
talk about the water cooler gossip. It got heavy, hard. And I learned
Mhm.
a very hard, valuable lesson, those years of my life that not everybody is good for you. And you got to really take a step back, like you said with
Yep.
Malcolm, right? Take a step back enjoy it, take it for what it is, and just
Yeah.
let it go.
Yeah.
And there's another thing to add to that is going back to integrity is the more not integrity, the more you have the ability to look inward,
Mhm.
to look inward, to look at your values, to practice integrity as you define it. The more you're able to do that, then when people like you're talking about, Chuck, come around, these negative people, you're more likely to notice that before you fall into whatever they're selling, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
For a long time, when I was in corporate and then even in my own business, I'm very much of a relationship driven person. So to Chuck's point, I need to almost be liked. I need to help people at the expense of my own business, my own family, my own everything. I would help others. And it's a great trait until I woke up one day and said, what about me? And it's not a selfish statement. It's about drawing the boundaries. And to Chuck's point, I sat back, and this is a real process that I went through. A couple of months ago, I was finding that my business, part of the way I was working, but part of what I was doing was spending too much time helping others, which is a good trait and a bad trait. So
Yeah.
I then started to color code my Google Calendar to really take a visual look at how much time I was spending on other people's stuff and my stuff.
Yeah.
And I did it for like 2 weeks. And one day I said, yeah, this is not good, because it was like 80, 90% other people and 10, 20% me. So I very slowly started to say to many people, not everybody, but many people, my calendar's full. And it was with everybody else's stuff. So my calendar is full. So I slowly started to wean people away to go somewhere else to get their stuff done, and started
Go
filling
find
in those
somebody else,
gaps
right?
with my stuff.
Right.
And I
Go find somebody
realized,
else.
yeah, and I
Right.
realized also that I shouldn't say all, a large portion of those people that I was helping didn't give anything back, anything.
Yeah.
So it's nice to help, but to Chuck's point, are they right and good for you? And in my
Right.
case, many of them were not. So
Yeah.
now my calendar was like 80% me, 20% everybody else.
Yeah. What a great topic, Steve. I'm glad you chose this today. I've really enjoyed this. It made me reflect back on past a little bit of things that happened to me, how I overcame those things, and how I'm pushing forward now, learning that not everybody's in your corner. And I think, to anybody listening, really sit back and take a second to self-assess how you're doing on the integrity side of yourself. Really, really think about it. Am I doing the right thing and doing the right thing right consistently? We all fail, but really think about that, right? It's huge, you know?
Well, the
Yeah.
thing to think about, the real question in my mind is, if you're speaking about someone else when they're not around to defend themselves, are people talking about you when you're not around to defend yourself?
It's correct.
And
Yeah.
you don't want to be in that position.
Yep.
You want to lead with honesty, trust, not spreading rumors, and be known as somebody that people want to talk to, want to do business with, because you
Yeah.
don't spread gossip.
Mhm.
Right. And before we close out here, Malcolm, how do we reach out to you? How do our audience contact you? Give us your information.
People can find out more about me at my website, which is malcolmgrissom.com. So MALCOLMGRISSOM.com.
Got it.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Steve, 516-727-2294. That's how you contact Steve.
And for Chuck, it's 410-935-6132.
And guess what I learned yesterday, Steve?
All right, what'd you
I
learn?
got some little surprise coming for you. I don't want to talk too much about it until it's complete. But I learned yesterday that your website now has a redirect. I know we talked about it briefly, but I forgot about it.
Yes,
And I went to your website.
my old website has a redirect to my new website.
Yeah, it threw me off.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on, this isn't the same Steve. Oh, yeah, it is. There he is.
It's a new website. The old one was really good, but the
Yeah.
new one is more standardized. I think it's a little cleaner. It's all on one page instead of having multiple subtabs. And the guy who did it did a great job. He really did. But my needs changed, so I had to change with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So real quick, Malcolm, in closing, give us your closing thoughts about integrity.
Integrity is, it all comes down to um, asking questions. Who do you who do you want to be? How do you want to show up in the world? Um, when you ask those questions and you continue to ask those questions, so just that this is a great example, Steve and Chuck, about things change. Steve's website changed. These questions are your answers are going to change through life. So if you continue asking yourselves these questions, who do I want to be? Who do I want to show up? How do I want to show up in the world? It all comes down to values and integrity. And really, this really leads the charge.
Yeah,
No, it makes sense.
exactly.
It does. It does.
Yeah, exactly. Steve, real quick.
So what I've been doing for a while is if somebody comes along and says to me, "Hey, did you hear about Malcolm?" My first question is that your own experience or did you hear it from someone else?
Ooh, nice.
Because if they heard it from someone else, the conversation is over and I walk away.
Yeah,
And it sends the message of leave me alone because I don't want to hear it.
yeah,
Mhm.
And even if it's real, then I start probing what was the reason for it? Why did it happen? Was it the other person or was it you and they didn't do what you wanted? So now you're putting them down. So it opens up a whole bunch of questions.
yeah. That's good because that brings up a real quick statement to say, look, people always want to talk about people because their feelings get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to try to put it on somebody else to get, well, about Steve and then Malcolm said this, and I don't trust either one of them. And I'm like, whoa, hold up here, it's not true. So I think that, integrity it's huge, man. And I think everybody
Mm-hmm.
really, like I said, self-assess, really take a step back and ask yourself, are you really doing the right thing
Yep.
or saying the right thing before you even say it, right? Because,
Mm-hmm.
can't take words back. Once you say it, man, it's done, you
Correct.
know?
Correct.
Yeah. Hey, Malcolm, I
Agree.
really appreciate you coming on the
Yeah.
Friday at 4 today, Steve. Another
Yeah.
great episode. We
Yeah.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Yeah. Thank you,
Been
Malcolm. Appreciate you being
yeah,
here.
yeah,
Yes,
man.
thank you too.
It's
Both of
been
you.
yeah, it's a good topic. I really, really like this one,
Thank you.
and I really just keep it going. And Malcolm, you're welcome to come on any episode at Friday at 4 anytime. It's
All
always
right.
open. The link is there for you. Just come in if you can make it, and we'll be glad to have
Mm-hmm.
you come in and talk more about what you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
You know.
Appreciate it.
Good stuff.
And
Appreciate
in
it. Yeah.
closing, Steve, the Friday at
It's
4 becomes
it's 4 o'clock somewhere.
it's 4 o'clock somewhere. Malcolm, that's a little closing line on every one of our episodes. We started that a while ago, man, and
Yeah.
and we love it.
And it just stuck, so we use it.
It's stuff.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
All right,
guys,
good
thanks
stuff.
again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great
All right.
episode. Have a great rest of the evening. Have a great weekend,
too.
and we'll all
You
chat
too.
soon.
You got it.
Yeah,
Thanks, Malcolm.
for
Thanks,
See you
sure.
Jack.
guys. Take care. Thanks,
Thanks,
Malcolm.
guys.
Bye.
Take
Yeah.
care.
Take care. Thanks.
Bye.
You've been watching the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent. Thanks for watching.